first speaker for tonight. She is a professor and director of the Asian American Center and associate professor in the Urban Studies Department at Queens College, CUNY. She has taught Asian American Studies at several universities and has researched contemporary Asian American communities. Her main interests include immigrants, women, the South Asian diaspora, Asian American communities, and multicultural issues in the United States. Her research on South Asian immigrant communities in the New York area has been published in her book, Becoming American, Being Indian. Please welcome Professor Mudhulika Khandelwal.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hey. So, a very, very good evening. And I want to say how happy I am to join you. And at the very beginning, I want to congratulate Foundation for Filipino Artists for putting this wonderful, very, very impressive event together. I want to say I have been celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month for many years, I would say decades, quite a few decades. But this event is unique. And I'm very, very happy that the Foundation for Filipino Artists has selected this focus on the arts. And, you know, very often what happens in Asian American studies, and that's what I teach in the Asian American world, is that we focus so much on our issues and identities and those kind of things that sometimes we overlook the arts. And, you know, we talk about culture a lot. We say Queens is the most diverse, culturally diverse county and those things. But culture somehow doesn't come in our celebrations like this, you know. So I'm so happy that the Foundation for Filipino Artists has decided to do this. And I'm looking forward to, I want to say already, especially the folk songs sung by the two young girls, it's like very, very, really fascinating, you know. And I was thinking of the connections that we have among the different Asian American groups. You know, we all know how diverse this population is. We come from so many countries, so many cultures, so many languages, and all kinds of diversity is there within the Asian American Pacific Islander communities. And yet we have something in common. Our spirit to create, right? Not only to struggle, you know, in these times, we are reminded again and again of the anti-Asian sentiment that is there and the racist kind of, you know, attitudes that are prevailing about Asian Americans, and we are fighting for it. But with that fight and with that struggle is also the creation, the performing arts, the arts and culture that is fine in life. So we need to do both these things simultaneously, right? And I feel in the artists and the art that they demonstrate, that they express, is our spirit that will not die ever, you know. So that's the creative aspect of it. And I want to mention that, as probably some of you may have guessed, I am of South Asian background. My home country is India, and I'm an immigrant from India. And I wanted to mention that from an Indian point of view, arts are at a very, very high level. They are placed at a very high level in life, to the extent that we have a goddess for arts. And her name is Saraswati, goddess Saraswati. And she is the goddess for performing arts, for learning, you know, those kind of things, right? And so if somebody has to pay someone a compliment, and let's say a singer, a compliment, they will say, the goddess dwells on your tongue. or may the goddess, a blessing is may the goddess, shower her blessings in your life. So art has a very, very high respect in Indian culture. And also, I want to say there's so many ways that people want to define Indian culture, but one of the most remarkable definitions of Indian culture is that the song is everywhere in Indian culture. And there's a song for every occasion in life, whether it's a wedding or it's a child birth or anything. There are like so many songs in India, and you may have heard of at least some like Bollywood movie songs, right? But there are also folk songs, and there's classical music, and so on and so forth. So the diversity and the range is tremendous. So I want to say that from a culture that respects art so much and a culture of songs, I want to congratulate Foundation for Filipino Artists once again, and I'm very, very happy to join you in this celebration, which I really think is remarkable. It's going to be a memorable event, and hopefully many more Asian Americans will learn from this. And this will go on next year and on and on. And especially in this year, I want to say, especially in this year, to put together a virtual event like this, I know it has taken a lot of effort, but also a lot of love. And so I want to thank especially Aida for inviting me into this, and her entire team for putting together such a wonderful event. Thank you so much. Happy Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Thank you so much, Professor. And I do hope the goddess is now sprinkling and showering her prayers and love to all the performers who are performing tonight. That was really beautiful. Thanks so much. And, I really hope that we will see more Asian American studies programs popping up around the country. So please continue your great work at CUNY.